This is the evening news of Friday, September 5, 2014. I'm Michael Young. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. APNU awakes from slumber, expresses concern over GCOM's PLE. Junkie charged with murder of Mahika farmer. Ice factory owner arrested as GPL starts name and shame campaign. UG law student deported from Trinidad and Tobago, and teenager charged for robbery under arms. It's now time for the news in detail. Let's tell you first that while admitting that no list could be perfect, the Partnership for National Unity says it has some concerns about the preliminary list of electors, especially as it regards to the names of dead persons present on that list. Alexis Rodney reports.
Pointing out discrepancies under the list, Chief Whip of the Partnership for National Unity, Amna Ali, who is also the party's chief scrutineer, said the issue revolving around the names of dead persons on the list may be reasons for concern. It was at the party's weekly press conference at its Hatfield Street office earlier today that executive members, including Shadow Local Government Minister Ronald Bilken, Shadow Minister of Home Affairs and Elections Campaign Officer Winston Felix, discussed issues relating to the Guyana Elections Commission and the alleged trumped-up allegations by the PPP against the electoral body. Citing Ot Chung as an example, Ali said that the party finds that many persons do not report the deaths of their loved ones. She explained that the issue surrounding this problem is embedded in the fact that person's name cannot be taken off the list unless a death certificate is produced.
That is why General Secretary Rohi is pointing to that as a major example, but we can understand why.
Ali said there are other deaths that have not been reported, disclosing that the GRO's last submission to GCOM was in April.
These things contribute to errors of the PLE.
She said that although the party has seen these errors, there is nothing within the law that it can do. She noted that GCOM will have to do all that it can at the administrative level to clean up these discrepancies. Meanwhile, while the APNU has raised concerns about the list, GCOM has indicated that no other political party, apart from the PPP, has raised any concerns about the preliminary list of electors. For the evening news, Alexis Rodney.
Thanks, Alexis. Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, Dr. Steve Surjbali, has confirmed that a vacancy for the position of an information technology manager at the Secretariat still exists, but said the appropriate steps are being taken to fill the post. Details in this Svetlana Marshall report.
According to GCOM's chairman, Dr. Steve Surjbali, the Secretariat had advertised on several occasions, locally and internationally, for suitable candidates to fill the IT manager post, but to no avail.
We were not satisfied that the applicants who expressed interest in the job would have been able to fulfill the requirements of the position, or they might have not been politically acceptable. Further, we are currently in the process of sourcing someone, even temporarily, to fill that position, very likely with the help of the international development partners.
The ruling People's Progressive Party Civic PPPC had long questioned why the post had not been filled. Another issue of concern surrounded the Joint International Technical Assessor, JITA. In a quest to clear the air, Dr. Surjbali explained that JITA refers to someone who's very experienced in elections management and has been traditionally associated with GCOM during elections project.
In the past, JITAs have always been identified and funded by the international development partners. In view of the possibility of imminent general and regional elections, GCOM has not waited. We have already engaged the international development partners with a view to benefit from services of a JITA. They have rosters and they could select on our behalf names and persons who they think would fit into the scheme of things. We have given them the scope of work, the list of duties, the terms of reference that such a JITA must have. In fact, you know, GCOM has always been the agency which initiated the process of sourcing and recruiting an international technical assessor.
PPP had also called for the establishment of an international monitoring unit. In response, the chairman said GECOM never had such a unit. He said the only known unit is the media monitoring unit, positing that GECOM would be more than happy to renew the memorandum of understanding with the media fraternity ahead of a possible snap elections. Svetlana Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
A University of Guyana student found herself in hot water yesterday when Trinidad and Tobago officials denied her entry into that country. Let's hear why in this report.
A University of Guyana law student traveling to Trinidad and Tobago to attend the U Wooding Law School has been deported. This newscast understands that the student traveled to Trinidad with a one-way ticket to attend the law school. However, she lacked the prerequisite admission letter and no official list was forwarded to the officials at the port of entry. Sources from the University of Guyana Student Association confirmed that University of Guyana officials were yet to submit the list. It was explained that the university was awaiting final grades from Barbados. Until those grades are released, persons will not be able to access U Wooding Law School. Bisham Mohammed, Evening News.
Dhanpal Singh of Helena No. 2 Mahika East Coast Demerara, also called Taylor Man, was today arraigned with the murder of Ravi Balkasoon when he appeared at the Vigilance Magistrates Court. He was not required to plead to the indictable charge, which stated that on September 2, 2014 at Helena Maikoni, East Coast Demerara, he murdered Ravi Balkasoon. He was subsequently remanded to prison by Magistrate Zamila Ali and will make his next court appearance on September 26 at the Mahika Magistrates Court. Dhanpal reportedly confessed to chopping the 52-year-old farmer of Lot 107 Helena No. 2 Mahika to his neck. The man succumbed to his injuries a few minutes later. Much to his dissatisfaction, an ice factory owner was arrested today after being accused of shortchanging the Guyana Power and Light Company of millions of dollars. His arrest forms part of the Name and Shame campaign being executed by GPL to crack down on electricity theft. More details from Svetlana Marshall.
With electricity theft negatively impacting its financial status, Guyana Power and Light GPL took the bull by the horn as it launched its Name and Shame campaign in Annandale on the east coast of Demerara. Equipped with the press and police, GPL's operations manager Dominic Sonder and team visited an ice factory at Corabin Park owned by Rajendra Mohan. According to GPL, Mohan, with the help of experts in the field, created a bypass to prevent the meter from recording the accurate amount of electricity consumed. Although Mohan has a bill amounting to a whopping $3.6 million, GPL said this amount could jump to $7 million when back billing is done. But Mohan denied the allegations peddled against him.
I use a paid service I have here, which I applied for GPL over the years. They didn't say anything to me.
Before he was taken into custody by ranks of the Vigilance Police Station on the charge of diversion of electricity, the ice factory owner questioned how a registered GPL customer could be charged for receiving electricity.
I have money for them, yes.
How much money?
I have, right now, the bill is over $3 million. And I have a contract with them to pay that.
So you're paying?
Paying every month.
When was the last month you paid?
Last month I paid $700,000.
So that took you down to $3 million or took you to
1.3, and then this one bill comes $700,000, $600,000. This one come again.
Got back to $3 million.
Yes.
Even as he was being placed into the police van, the East Coast resident maintained his innocence, saying that he is unaware of who might have tampered with the electrical cables leading to the meter on the pole. But the operations officer maintained that the electrical system was tampered with. He explained that between the transformers and the meter, a bypass was created to slow down the rate of consumption. This, he said, is illegal. According to GPL, this is just the start of the Name and Shame campaign. More defaulters will be hauled before the press, the police, and even the court. Svetlana Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
Thanks, Svetlana. If you have a news tip or news story you would like our news team to follow, message or WhatsApp us on telephone numbers 680-9630, 603-117 or 617-2867. You can also call us at our office on 231-0382 or 226-2102. You're tuned to the evening news. More news still ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're tuned to the evening news. I'm Michael Young. Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Frank Anthony, earlier today distributed grants amounting to some $228 million to representatives of the 10 regional administrations for the upgrading of the community grounds enhancement projects. More details from Alexis Rodney.
Regional executive officers of the 10 administrative regions across Guyana yesterday converged in the boardroom of the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport to receive the grants which will aid in the further development of community grounds in their respective regions. Permanent Secretary of the Culture Ministry Alfred King explained that the event represents a $224 million from the ministry's capital budget for 2014. He said the project, which is worth a total $300 million, still has another phase.
So the first phase that we'll be doing today will see us expend just over $228,466,178. And we're hoping that with the...
How many cents?
We're hoping that with the help of the regional democratic councils, that we'll be able to disburse the funds in a very efficient way.
Culture, Youth and Sport Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said the program, which was launched several years ago, has yielded much success and has attracted the full support of government. He said because of the positive response, another $200 million have been added.
I think generally the response has been good. In some cases, when we review the submission, while we would have put a cap at $1 million, in some cases on reviewing the submission, they went a little bit beyond $1 million. So while we have $228 million that we'll be spending, it does not necessarily mean that you'll have 228 grounds.
The ministry has committed to the rehabilitation of 25 grounds in Region 1, 5 in Region 2, 22 in Region 3, 18 in Region 4, 28 in Region 5, 44 in Region 6, 3 in Region 7, 8 in Region 8, 6 in Region 9, and 9 in Region 10. He said the ministry will also be working directly with 15 grounds across the country. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Thanks, Alexis. 19-year-old Andrew Ridley of Lot 48 Atlanticville housing scheme was today remanded for a robbery under armed charge. Ridley appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Magistrate Judy Latchman. His charge alleged that on January 9, 2014, at Independence Boulevard, Georgetown, he, while in the company of 2 other persons armed with a gun, robbed Wayne St. Jules, a quantity of articles that totaled $191,500. According to details, St. Jules was working in Allboystown when the defendant and company approached him. The defendant placed the gun to St. Jules's head and demanded the articles. Fearful of his life, he relieved himself of the articles, leading to the defendant making a good escape. Bail was refused and Ridley was remanded until September 15th. Chairman of the Ghana Reparations Committee, Dr. Eric Phillips, has disclosed that works are in the pipeline for the Reparation Committee as an important conference has been set for next month to discuss related issues. Alexis Rodney reports.
The objective of the 2-day workshop is to intensify the scientific and popular discourse on the CRC's 10-point plan on reparatory justice. These include a full formal apology, repatriation, an Indigenous Peoples Development Plan, cultural institution and psychological rehabilitation, among others. The conference, which will be staged by the CARICOM Reparations Commission and the Antigua and Barbuda Reparations Support Commission, has among its activities a plenary address on political commitment. According to Dr. Phillips, Guyana will be in attendance. The Caribbean Reparations Committee, which was launched in July of last year, had set a number of demands to the former European slave trade nations. Those demands include those nations providing diplomatic help to persuade countries such as Ghana and Ethiopia to offer citizenship to the children of the people from the Caribbean to return to Africa, devising a developmental strategy to help improve the lives of poor communities in the Caribbean, and supporting cultural exchanges between the Caribbean and West Africa. The Guyana Reparations Committee, headed by Dr. Phillips, has latched on to the Caribbean Committee and will be holding meetings with stakeholders in Berbice and Essequibo on September 21 and 27 respectively to engage in related discussions. Dr. Phillips said reparations is all about the business of development and the economic future of CARICOM and its member states. He said the Caribbean is at a serious economic crossroad, with some governments trying to airbrush it from the portrait rising poverty, rising unemployment, rising debt, and declining economic growth. For the evening news, I'm Alexis Rodney.
Amid warnings about the possible spread of the deadly Ebola virus in the Caribbean, the Guyana government on Thursday announced that it will soon unveil an action plan that includes heightened surveillance at ports of entry and also a beefing up of training for hospital staff to deal with the disease. The Ebola virus has been rampant in West Africa. As of the 31st of August 2014, the World Health Organization reported that there have been more than 3,685 probable confirmed and suspected cases and 1,841 deaths in countries such as Guinea and Liberia. The Ebola virus is an infectious disease that spreads between humans and person to person. Infection is transmitted by direct or indirect contact with the blood, bodily fluids, or secretions, stool, urine, saliva, semen of infected people, but only when they show symptoms. Ebola cannot be transmitted by air. iNet Communication on Thursday said it acquired its license to sell internet data some 14 years ago, refuting a Kiter News article that said the company did not have a valid license. Here are details in this report.
iNet Communications Inc. on Thursday confirmed that it acquired its telecommunications license over 14 years ago. The company clarified that Dr. Ranjit Singh Ramrup joined its board more than 12 years after it was established, as it dismissed claims by Kiter News. KNet claimed that the company was operating its new high-speed internet service using satellites without a license. iNet Communications Chief Executive Officer George Melville clarified that it was established 14 years ago to provide high-speed, high-bandwidth, and cost-effective methods to transmit and receive data communications via satellite and other state-of-the-art wireless technologies. He added that iNet Communications pays its annual licensing fees to operate under the NFMU in Guyana, and the only difference in iNet's telecommunications operations in the last 14 years is that now iNet is rolling out the fastest data network in Guyana. In September 2013, the iNet Communications Company was sold to Global Technology. George Melville, June Philip Neri, and Dr. Ranjit Singh Ramrup. Svetlana Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
34-year-old Gary Beckles, a mason of Lot 36 James and Bar Streets, All Boys Town, was today placed on $60,000 bail after being charged for 2 unlawful offences. Beckles represented himself at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Magistrate Judy Latchman. His first charge alleged that on October 5 at Kitty, he unlawfully and maliciously damaged one rear motor vehicle window valued $30,000, property of David Damaraj, which he pleaded not guilty to. It is also alleged that on the same date and at the same place, he stole from motor vehicle PNN 6578 one left side rear light. There were no objections to bail, and bail was granted in the sum of $60,000 for both charges. Join us on the other side of the break for more news. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with the Evening News. The Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce on Thursday held a stakeholders validation workshop to encourage and engage stakeholders on Guyana's branding and marketing strategy at the Regency Hotel, Hatfield Street, Georgetown. Guyana's products are unique and oftentimes those that are marketed do not match the brand, hence the implementation of a marketing and branding strategy. The workshop saw stakeholders being enlightened on the proposed branding of Guyana and its tourism marketing and digital marketing strategy. During brief remarks, Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Ifrin Ali stressed government's commitment to the sector. Hence, he said the drive for the competitiveness strategy to be altered to include the consultancy of raising Guyana's competitiveness in various sectors. In this report, we hear that the newly posted United States Embassy's Public Affairs Officer, Robert Aldenson, will be focusing his attention on fostering education opportunities in Guyana.
During a welcoming reception, the new U.S. Embassy Public Affairs Officer Robert Adelson said that his 3 weeks here thus far has been overwhelming with generosity. He recalled when he found out that he was going to be posted in Guyana about a year ago, he began compiling a list of ideas and goals that he aspired to achieve during his tenure here. Adelson, who has a background in teaching, noted that he recognized that there was a theme among his ideas and most of them were connected to education.
And education is so very important to me. It means a lot to me. And when I talk about education, I don't necessarily mean education in the classroom, although that is one part of it. What I mean by education is educating young people on life skills and leadership and management. Business, how to live a healthy lifestyle. It could be educating the public on American culture, be it art, music, or sport. In our office, we have exchanges that we support. And this gives opportunities to upcoming and rising Guyanese leaders to go to the United States and share their experience and educate Americans on their culture and the great work that you guys do here every day.
Adelson added that he will also be focusing on educating himself during his 3 years tenure in Guyana. The embassy's public affairs officer expressed his eagerness to learn more about Guyana and its cultural heritage. Prior to his posting in Guyana, Robert Adelson served as the assistant cultural attaché at the U.S. Embassy in London. Before that, he was a visa officer in Mexico where he served a 2-year term. Adelson holds a Bachelor of Art degrees in Education from the Florida State University and a Master's degree in Education from Pace University in New York. He worked as a public school teacher in Bronx, New York through the Teach for America program before joining the State Department in 2009. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
As Natural Resources Minister Robert Bussard plugged the need for investment in Guyana's forestry sector, he urged that some of that development be directed to value-added timber produce. Here are details in this story.
Natural Resources Minister Robert Bussard says that the government is currently making efforts to reduce the amount of raw timber being exported from Guyana. Bussard said should Guyana continue its current trend of raw timber export, it would make the industry more vulnerable to the effects of the world market.
The emphasis on development of forest product was particularly with an eye on value added, because it was not only just about marketing our timber resources, but also we wanted much more dedicated attention to be placed on the development, and in this instance, the development of forest products along the line of having much more value added in this regard. So from a strategic and from a visionary standpoint, and if we're going to, as it were, make our economy much more resilient in the long term and much more in a position to withstand price shocks that commodities take, value added is a key to go. So it makes economic sense that we pursue value added in all areas. But it is one thing to say that we should pursue value added, and so we need the enabling environment.
However, he underscored the need for a reduction in energy costs. Prasad said at the present levels, energy cost is one detractor to the advent of value-added wood produce. The minister pointed to the Amaila Falls hydropower project, which has the potential to significantly reduce energy costs in Guyana.
But then there are also some other realities. And we know in an operation such as yours, particularly in value-added operation, 60% of your operational costs, 60% of your operational costs are spent on energy. And so we can talk from here to the top of Mount Roraima about value-added in any area of our economy. But unless and until we definitively address the matter of energy, we will be having a good talk, and only. And that is a reality that we have to confront as a nation. And you know it, you operate in it, you know the sector. But sometimes when you hear the comments made, because the same individuals who talk about much more needs to be done for value-added are the same individuals who at another level are in fact holding the key to value-added taking off in our country, and that is energy.
Reporting for the Evening News, Jomo Paul.
The Ministry of Local Government today signed another contract with the United Nations Development Programme under the Solid Waste Management Programme to have more markets across the country upgraded. Details in this story.
Several major markets across the country will get facelifts as the India, Brazil and South Africa Trust Fund injects more money into the Solid Waste Management Improvement Project. Under the program, 7 markets will undergo rehabilitation. The contracts were signed in the boardroom of the Local Government Ministry between Minister Norman Whitaker and the contractors. Recognizing that street vending contributes significantly to garbage pollution, the Local Government Ministry has chosen to rehabilitate the markets with the hope of attracting vendors to these facilities. Additionally, major emphasis will be placed on the installation of receptacles in an effort to reduce the build-up of garbage around these areas. In his brief remarks, Minister Whitaker said contractors must deliver quality work.
Much is expected of them in terms of the timely implementation of those aspects of the project for which they have responsibility, and equally important in terms of the quality of the finished project or product that they deliver. As there's great expectation on the part of the public in terms of what is achieved.
The funding for the project is being leased through the United Nations Development Programme, which is also overseeing the implementation of the project. UNDP's deputy resident in Guyana expressed her satisfaction to see the project is on track.
I'm very pleased to see today that and learn that the work plan is very on track and all procurement processes that was planned were done. And for the first set of contracts were already signed, and today comes the signing of the marketplace, the rehabilitation of marketplace and market tarmac. UNDP is very, very happy to work in partnership with Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development for this project.
The 7 markets that will be upgraded are those in Anna Regina, Rose Hall, New Amsterdam, Corriverton, Linden, Latham, and those in Georgetown.
A new magazine promoting Guyana's pristine forest and timber exports was launched earlier today at the Guyana Forestry Complex. Most of the articles in Guyana Timber Trade and Investment magazine are written by persons who would have established themselves in the timber industry. The magazine is being piloted as a marketing tool to acquire customers and as a medium to attract investors here. 5,000 copies of the publication will be produced and will be distributed both locally and internationally. Anson McCall, under its Stag Beer brand, has launched a new promotion called Command Center, which will see customers winning over $10 million in prizes. Bisham Mohammed has details in this report.
The promotion is the biggest under the Stag Beer brand and will see a lucky customer winning a fully loaded Toyota Tacoma estimated at $5.2 million. The promotion was launched in the boardroom of Ansa McCall head office, Bedford Walking, East Coast, Demerara. Marketing director of the company, Troy Cadogan, said that the promotion is more or less the company giving back to its customer who have supported them over the years. He also gave a recap of the promotions done by Stag Bear over the years and gave an insight of the new promotion.
Command Center is keeping it in that tradition. You know, we would have started our first major promotion under the Stag brand with Crongia Community. And with that promotion, customers had the opportunity to support their villages, and we give back to the community a complete makeover of sports vicinity or in that community. Linden won that competition with Burbies bringing second, and I think BV brought third. Mm-hmm. We subsequently donated a tractor to the Linden MSC, and we relayed the entire field. And it's part of keeping our social responsibility. We were excited about Command Center. It's one of our more robust promotions. Customers have an opportunity to win pool table, foosball table, coolers full of Stag Bear chairs, recliner chairs, and 50-inch TVs. And the grand prize being a Toyota Tacoma.
Brand coordinator John Maiku explained how persons can enter the promotion with the chance of winning the grand prize.
The mechanics of this promotion will be 3 crowns. Entrants must fill out an envelope with their name, address, and telephone number, and enter in boxes nationwide. We're going to have like boxes at 6 to 5 locations throughout Guyana. That's going to be published in the papers. We're going to do road shows so consumers can see the prizes visually and have a feel of it. They can see the Tacoma and get to actually inspect the quality of it and stuff like that. It's fully loaded, like I said. We'll have our first drawing. We're going to give one of each of the prizes at the drawing.
So I can give it 5 coolers.
And 5 coolers, yeah.
Full of beer.
The press is going to be updated with winners and stuff like that, so it keeps alive and people could follow the promotion.
The media, however, can also be a part of the promotion and will have a chance to win a 50-inch television and a cooler filled with Stag Bears. Visham Mohammed, The Evening News.
Thanks, Visham. Quite an interesting report. Troy Resources handed over 28 backpacks and associated school supplies to the secondary school children of Kaburi Village, 72 miles recently. The donation was made following a request by the Tushao to the Troy Resources Guyana Incorporated for assistance to the children of his village who attend a secondary school. Your regional and international news are still ahead. This is the Evening News. Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back. It's now time for a look at what's happening in the region and further afield. The head of the police service in Haiti has appeared before an investigating judge to answer why law enforcement officials have not arrested former President Aristide, who is being investigated on corruption charges. Police Chief Godson Orlas appeared before the judge who is conducting the inquiry into the allegations against Aristide. Aristide and several of his former colleagues have been accused of embezzling hundreds of millions of dollars from the state through his organization, Aristide for Democracy Foundation, and other organizations during the period 2001 to 2004. Lawyers representing Aristide have already filed a motion seeking to have the judge removed on the grounds of bias. But despite the motion, the judge has said that he has not revoked the warrant for Aristide's arrest. Now, internationally, a sick passenger on a flight that originated from Nigeria was forced to remain on the aircraft by the health officials after it was diverted to Bermuda on Thursday amid fears that the passenger may have contracted the deadly Ebola virus. Health authorities who would not divulge the identity of the passenger after the plane landed at the LF Wade International Airport during the early hours said that emergency medical technicians called for personal protective equipment in case the passenger was infected with the Ebola virus, which has already claimed more than 1,900 lives in West Africa. There is no known cure for the virus. A Ministry of Health spokeswoman in that country said that the decision to keep the passenger on the plane was made out of the abundance of caution. It's now time for a look at your bridge report. The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed from 14 hours 30 on Saturday, September 6, 2014 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 14 hours 05 on Saturday, September 6 for a period of 1.5 hours. Join us on the other side of the break for your sport news. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with Evening News. It's now time for a look at your sport news. But first, let's take a look at your headlines. Golf course in top shape despite pest invasion. Demerara Berbice win on opening day of inter-county. And all set for cricket for Unity match. Remember, the Sportscast is brought to you with the kind compliments of Macorp.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. That is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Macorp, let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back. It's now time for a look at the sport news in detail. A gritty Demerara fought off Essequibo Spinners to snatch a 2-wicket victory in Thursday's first round of the Senior Inter-County Tournament at the Wales Community Centre ground. Chasing a target of 153, Demerara were in serious trouble after left-arm spinner Anthony Adams and Ricardo Adams combined to take 8 wickets. The hosts lost 3 wickets for just 54 runs after openers Travon Griffith 47 and Andrew Light 39 orchestrated a 93-run alliance in 12.1 overs. Earlier, Kevon Buddy showed glimpses of intent, hitting a top score of 42 for Essequibo. Stephen Jacobs took 4 for 32, while fellow off-spinner Zahir Mohammed claimed 3 for 16. Meanwhile, Demerara and Berbice will go head-to-head tomorrow in round 2 at the Wales Community Centre ground. The clash between the national under-19 team and Essequibo is billed for the Demerara Cricket Club ground. Both games will bowl off at 9 hours 30 and admission is free. Despite the infestation of a pest that was eating away at the greens and fairways, the Lusignan Golf Course is in top shape for this weekend's doubleheader at the country's lone golf course on the east coast of Demerara. Avinash Ramzan reports.
President of the Lusignan Golf Club, David Mohammed, said the course was infested with a worm-like pest that was eating away at the greens and fairways. Remedial work was done to get the course back in shape, and according to Mohammed, the facility is back in top condition for this weekend's doubleheader, which will be sponsored by Courts Guyana Inc. on Saturday and NNS Matai on Sunday.
After the rain came, there was an infestation of a pest that we have never noticed at the Lusignan Golf Club, a worm-like pest that was eating away at the course, so we had to spray it with some pesticide and so on, and we asked the members to stay away for a few days. What that did, it gave the course a rest and it gave the ground staff a chance for maximum preparation without interruption. So the course is in good shape. Fairways are excellent. As was announced earlier, we bought all new equipment for the course, new green cutter, a new fairway cutter.
We're trying to get the level as international standard as much as we can.
Mohammed quizzed on the progress made so far in 2014, said the club has been able to achieve a lot and praised the work of the executives in sticking to the plans and objectives for the year.
I have a great team working along with me, the captain, the vice president, everyone, the secretary, the treasurer has all been great, supportive. The weather conditions held us up for a month, but we're getting past that, and with the tournaments leading up, it'll be exciting times at the Lusignan Golf Club.
The golf season will continue into the final quarter of the year, with the annual Guyana Open, which is the major event in the local calendar, being the highlight.
Thanks, Avinash. All systems are in place for the Cricket for Unity 2020 match set for Saturday at the DCC ground, Queenstown. Two teams, Roraima Strikers and Kaieteur Thunders, will square off at 19 hours with the aim of promoting unity in the nation. Apart from a host of former cricketers, the match will feature politicians, singers, journalists, businessmen, police officers and lawyers. Admission to the venue is $500. And that has brought us to the end of the evening news for today, Friday, September 5, 2014. I'm Michael Young, thanking you very much for joining us and encouraging you to pick up a copy of tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times for details of these stories and others. Do have a very productive evening. Goodbye.